Sexual harassment is a real thing, especially in the workplace. You may tell a lady she has nice shoes. You may tell a lady she smells nice. You may even shake a woman's hand or touch her on the shoulder. But in today's time, that could be sexual harassment.
Touching at work? We're not doing that. There's no reason if I say good morning, you come to hug me. There's no reason that you make a joke and you put your hand on my shoulder while you're making the joke. What we're going to do, we're going to keep how we feel expressed-wise with words and not with physical touch.
And although you may not think that you're trying to do so, this can get you fired. And this is why a lot of men are avoiding women at the workplace in general. And speaking of workplace scandals, today we're talking about Brooklyn detective Jasmin Walls, an attractive lady who went viral in Brooklyn for making some really big allegations against her partner, Detective Carlos Zambrano. This lady has been on the force for a few years, and she was paired with Mr. Zambrano. But recently, she's been fired from the force. And why has she been fired from the force? Well, she made a complaint against Mr. Carlos Zambrano. She said that Mr. Zambrano groped her, sent her text saying that he wanted to clap, and then flashed explicit photos.
What?
Now, she reported to her boss that this behavior was happening, and instead of them looking into the situation, she was stripped of her gun, shield, and ID. Now, Jasmin Walls is trying to fight this battle, suing the police department. She said this: "I never thought I would be a victim like this. I expect that from someone on the streets, not somebody in blue." Harassment began in November 2022. She said that Zambrano was supposed to be her mentor, but it turned into something else. It started with lewd comments, then groping, then of course the sexual explicit messages. But then guess what? And then threats. Zambrano told her that if she told on him, she would be labeled a rat and no one would trust her. In one instance, she said that Zambrano allegedly grabbed her by her bun and yanked her head toward his you-know-what to stimulate oral clapping. At a precinct holiday party, she said Zambrano allegedly rubbed his you-know-what against her leg in public. She also said that several supervisors knew about Zambrano's behavior but failed to intervene, according to the lawsuit. After alleging all of these things on Zambrano, Walls said that she was ostracized. Not only was she labeled problematic, she was denied overtime and iced out by coworkers. She asked to even transfer to different departments, but was denied and was eventually stripped of her gun, shield, and ID. Jasmin Walls is not working right now. Zambrano, who's a married man, remains on the job. Damn! There's a few different outcomes from this. Number one, she's telling the truth, right? She's telling the truth. Zambrano is completely guilty of everything that happened, and they are trying to hide it. That's option number one. Or then there's option number two. The situation is consensual. Zambrano and her are engaged in both of it. She's a scorned lover and now is trying to take revenge. Let me give you an example of how this could happen in the workplace.
So I was working as an HRBP, and one day this female employee comes into my office very visibly upset. You can tell she'd been crying for a while. And she said that her male coworker was sexually harassing her. And I said, wow, okay, tell me about that. So she pulls out her phone and she said, my male coworker just recently sent me this very sexual video. It was kind of like a cartoon, but not really. Very gross, very offensive, very explicit. And yep, it was on her phone and it was from the male coworker. Seems pretty obvious what the outcome should be, right? Okay, so I contacted the manager of these employees and I went to go speak to this male coworker with that employee's manager. And I asked him, did you send, a female coworker a very explicit sexual video that had turtles in it? And he was like, yeah, of course I did.
But wait, there's more.
And I'm just like, wow, I can't believe you do that at work. Wow, that's so gross. I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. And he said, yeah, I sent that to her, but only because she sent me this video. And on his phone was a video that she had sent him that was equally as gross, offensive, explicit, sexual. And of course, we could verify the phone number. And yeah, the female employee had sent a video first. And then he sent one in response.
So this lady who works in HR talks about a story where a woman comes and complains about a man sending her something sexually explicit. And the guy says, yeah, well, of course I sent her that. And she can't believe it. But the reality is the woman started the sexual explicit content first. So the man just responded to it in kind. She's not telling that side of the story. So she's trying to paint out her coworker as being in the wrong, but really she's the one that instigated the whole situation. So could it be that Jasmin Walls instigated this whole relationship and that Zambrano is just responding to it? Or number 3, Zambrano is a mentor who just doesn't want to help Jasmin Walls because for whatever reason she's black or she's a lady. Now, could this actually happen in the workplace?
I want to say that I feel empathy. I understand. You're concerned that you're walking on eggshells. You feel vulnerable in the workplace. You're concerned that your words or your behavior might be misinterpreted as being something other than who you are.
We don't know what the new rules of the road are.
Welcome to the world of being a woman or a person of color or a member of the LGBT community or a person with disabilities in the workplace. That is part of the experience, having to take a risk in showing up.
What? Now, if you guys know, the Me Too movement started in New York City, all right? And so what tended to happen after the Me Too movement was that many men decided to kind of stay away from women and not mentoring them for fear of being hit with these sorts of accusations and lawsuits. But then there's more.
You're concerned that you may be labeled as a creep because you compliment me on my beautiful dress. You know what? Sometimes I'm labeled as the B word because I smile too much. I think that we need to take this new experience that men are feeling in the workplace and actually channel it into something really positive, which is why don't you work on creating a more inclusive culture and taking all of your frustration, directing it at the men who are making you look really bad, the bad apples, and not punish women in the workplace. Because quite frankly, your whole enterprise is going to crumble if you don't figure out how to leverage and harness the ingenuity and creativity and talent of the women.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the you think you is?
So in this situation, she's telling the men that are in power, like, listen, you need to make the workplace less toxic, more enjoyable for women, because your organizations are going to fail. Well, in this case, clearly, it seems like they don't want her there for whatever reason. She could be telling the truth. She could not be telling the truth. It could be one of those Latino versus black things. We're not sure. But if she has these photos, if she has these text messages, if all of these things are filed in court, then basically she must have some level of evidence. And that's a situation in which I think that she might win. So I don't really understand what's going on. I really need to really see these messages and see what he did as far as proof. But what I can tell you is that men really need to understand that dealing with women is a dangerous thing in your workplace, even if they are the ones that are initiating the contact first. All right, you got to understand that in the court of public opinion, if they go and say they were being sexually harassed, right? And you received a message from her first, but you don't go and report it. Well, it could be that since she reported it and you didn't, then you're also at fault. All right. That's what it could mean, because she is going around saying that, hey, I feel hurt and I feel bad because he did this to me. Like, and I had a person do that to me before on my job. I had a lady who was very, very rude to me, said something, and then I responded to it. She went and told on me about what happened, and she admitted that. I said, well, look, she's the one that started it first. And she even admitted that she started it first. She was trying to get me in trouble for what she did at first. And this is something that ultimately you can get in trouble for it. Ultimately, you can be in trouble for your responses. The lady will say, okay, I feel offended by this. He responded, okay? And you do that. Then at the worst case scenario, you get fired from the job and then she gets fired from the job. And then now you're both fired from the job. This is why it is not cool to mess with women in the job. I don't care how much they like you. I don't care how much they talk to you. I don't care how often they give you game. At any given moment, if this comes back as if this is a lawsuit, it's lawsuit worthy, it's easier to get rid of both of you, if not one of you. All right? It's just easy to do that. So I would just tell all guys, whatever you do, leave your clapping out of the work environment. If you need to resort to self-clapalization, stop the show, which I definitely recommend over here at Clapathon Technical University. Do that. It's better than losing your job and losing your income because some woman is talking about the fact that you're harassing her or that you're bothering her. All right. And even that allegation alone is enough to destroy your career. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. Which is for all you do, Curtis Bell. We're out.